Daniel woke to the sound of his alarm and reached out without opening his eyes, the motion practiced from years of repetition. The sound stopped, but something felt wrong. He opened his eyes. The screen was dark. No time, no numbers. He checked his phone. The display lit up, but where the time should have been, there was nothing, just a blank space. Daniel frowned and sat up, scanning the room. The clock on the wall had frozen mid-second, its hands locked in place. He laughed quietly, shaking his head. Power outage, he thought. Technology failing like it always does. He dressed, made coffee, stepped outside. The street looked normal. Cars passed, people walked, conversations flowed. Yet something subtle was missing. No one glanced at their watch. No one hurried. A woman stood talking in the middle of the sidewalk without apologizing. A man waited patiently at a crossing long after the light changed. Daniel checked his phone again. Still no time. He asked a passerby if they knew what time it was. The man smiled politely, almost amused. "Does it matter today?" he said, then walked on. Daniel stood still, unsettled. At work, nothing ran on schedule. Meetings dissolved into conversations. Emails came without urgency. Deadlines were mentioned, then ignored. Daniel felt tension building in his chest, not because things were falling apart, but because without time, he didn't know where he fit. His value had always been measured in minutes saved, tasks completed, hours filled. Now, there were no numbers to chase, no proof that he was doing enough. As the day stretched forward without definition, Daniel grew restless. He refreshed screens, restarted devices, asked coworkers what hour it felt like. Their answers were vague. It feels calm. It feels quiet. It feels different. The absence of time made the office feel exposed. People noticed things they usually ignored. The tired eyes behind forced smiles, the long pauses between words, the heaviness of unfinished thoughts. Daniel noticed it too. He realized how often he used time as a shield. "I'll do it later. I don't have time right now. Not today." Without clocks, those excuses disappeared. He thought of his father, whose calls he postponed because they never fit neatly into his schedule. He thought of a letter he started months ago and never finished, a dream he delayed because it didn't seem practical. As the light outside shifted, if it was evening at all, Daniel sat alone, surrounded by unfinished work that no longer demanded completion. The silence pressed in. Without time telling him where to be, every moment asked the same question: what matters enough to choose right now? He had no answer, only the uncomfortable awareness that he had been waiting for permission to live. The clocks returned quietly. Daniel noticed it first when his phone vibrated with notifications stacked on top of one another. The time was back. The wall clock ticked forward, resuming as if nothing had happened. The world snapped into motion, schedules reappeared, urgency returned. But something inside Daniel had shifted. He didn't rush, he didn't panic. He sat there for a moment, letting the numbers glow without obeying them. That evening, he called his father, not because it was the right time, but because it mattered. He finished the letter. He made space for the thing he kept postponing. Time still existed, deadlines still mattered, but they no longer owned him. The day without clocks didn't erase time. It revealed how much of his life he had been delaying. And from that day on, whenever Daniel felt trapped by the minutes, he remembered what it felt like when the clock stopped mattering and chose differently.